Hello guys, and welcome to, this is Ben here, sorry. Welcome to a new series. I'm going to be doing tutorials on how to build certain things. And this is going to be multi-part series, so each tutorial series kind of going to be like a let's build thing, I guess. In the tutorial series will change. For example, I may do one on how to build a rocket ship or something like that. And I know you guys are going to be like, oh my god, you're not going to build another castle, are you? Yeah, that's going to be the first one I'm going to build. I'm going to try and do this as a tutorial with like explaining why you place certain things where you do and why you don't. This is pretty cool. I'm going to get rid of this just because I don't like it there. But yeah, so the first thing you need to do when you build a castle is you need to choose a hill. Preferably, you need to choose a hill on a prominent location, and I don't think you can get more prominent or more important than that. And sorry about the phone going off. But yeah, I really don't think you can choose a more prominent location than this hill. And one of the first things you have to do, and I would love for you guys to follow through on this and kind of go through it with me. So I'm going to go ahead and, for those of you who maybe want to build this in survival, I am going to stand at the highest point on this hill. This side isn't perfect, but it's good. Okay, and so we're going to do /seed. There's the seed for you, and to show you the coordinates, we're at 747.49. Okay. And then /time set day. I typically don't turn off the day-night cycle, but you need to choose a point where you can start and stop the castle. This is probably a good location, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab a tool here, trusty dusty flint and steel. And what you want to do, now if you're doing this in survival, chop down the wood, because you don't want to waste it. But if you are in creative in doing this, you can definitely, guys, feel free to burn it all. To quote the Mad King from Game of Thrones. And you can build on overhangs like this. I actually removed an overhang, if I remember correctly, it was right over here. Yeah. Now this is going to be a little bit bigger than a lot of the castles I've built. I'm going to try and make it fairly accurate. I'm not going to put like a bunch of armor stands or anything in this, or I'm definitely not going to populate with villagers, but this would be a great location. Maybe the next series after this one, the next series I do is going to be a how to build like a space station. Ooh, I like space stations. Because that'd be fun, showing you, you know, what types of design stuff. Now, we're not going to build anything down here, but I do want to get rid of these trees because they could provide refuge for an attacking force. So you typically want to get rid of that. Which is something you very, very much have to take into account. when you're building a castle is you have to take defensive measures into account. Okay. And as you can tell, this is a very large hill. Oops. Okay, so I did take care of those. And those should help get to this level. Okay, that one should catch fire soon. And this is all catching fire. Now, this may take a little bit more flint and steel than the one I'm using, because I'm doing this, of course, in creative, because it allows me to fly around, show you everything. There we go. And this will allow us to see about how much room we have for this castle, which is going to be pretty darn large. And let's go ahead and just burn it. So as you can see, we've cleared a lot of ground. This area doesn't look like it's actually going to catch fire. This tree for sure won't. There we go. Now it will. Oops. There we go. And of course, you can definitely, guys, go through and take out the stuff that doesn't burn. It'll give you a few extra resources. If you have a lot of resources, you can go ahead and just chop it all down if you need. Don't worry about the animals. If you want, you can kill them. If you want, you can start farming them. This tree is gonna have to go. Much as it pains me to say it, that tree has to go. Let's get rid of that. And this episode is going to kind of be showing you planning major structures in the castle. Or I don't even want to say major structures, but kind of starting off, like, where do you want to place stuff? Okay, because as you can see, we have a major hill here that can definitely house a lot of important structures. I probably should have... Let's go ahead and burn this one, and this one, and this one. And I may come through and get rid of some of these other trees. Just because it may become useful. And let's watch that chicken die. Oh, wow. Smart chicken. But as you can tell, not all of this is going to burn down. I'm not just going to... I'm going to take my time and let's go ahead and get rid of that. Man, that tree didn't burn. And this is the other thing. Using fire is not always going to get rid of everything. There we go. There we go. You'll often be left with stuff like that, which the best thing to do is just to kill it yourself. But now, as you can see, we have a massive hill here. Okay, and this is one of the prominent features of the hill. So, a lot of people, what they like to do is they like to, you know, flatten a lot of terrain or build a platform on it. Okay. Okay. Let's get rid of leaves. But you have to, oops. There we go. There's some more down here. You have to consider, now we're going to go ahead and slash clear. You look at it and it's pretty, so this is what we have to work with. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, cooked chicken. So, this is what we have to work with. It's kind of an L-shaped hill. So one of the things I want to do is I want to start laying out where I want the keep to be. With an important feature. So we're going to first choose our palette. And I'm going to use cobble. Actually going to use, I think I'm going to use spruce logs for some pillars. We're going to need, of course, the associated slabs. One of the other things that I should probably get better at is actually using the mossy as a detail. For inside, I'm debating which wood I want to use. I typically actually use a lot of dark oak, so I think that is the wood choice I'm going to use. And I'm actually going to go through and furnish and show some cool furnishing tricks. One of the things that's very important is use spruce doors for this. I'm actually going to grab trapdoors because I decided to use texture pack for a very good reason with regards to this. Looking for something else. But guys, always use a very simple palette. So one of the first things I'm going to do is get rid of that. Plan out where you want the where the main staircase for the keep is going to be. And I want it to be right here. Now in survival, you're going to light this entire area up and maybe build like a hidey hole dirt hut type of thing. And then you need to plan out the size. So for me, I'm going to do... I think that's where I want the corner to be. But I don't want to make it a tiny staircase like I'll do on a lot of my survival builds, because my survival builds are meant to be more functional. This is going to be a design that you can use in, say, as like a massive survival base if you're into that type of thing. Hi, chicken. And one of the important things you need to do is carry these all the way down. So that way it doesn't look like you're just building on top of the mountain. It looks like your structure has kind of been there for a while. So do something like this. Oops. Okay. That's where the staircase is going to be. So we're going to mark the middle of it like this, just so that we know that it's going to go around. And this is going to be a much bigger staircase than I normally would make, but again, that's part of it. And the other thing we want to do is we are now going to actually flatten this part of the hill out. Certain parts need to be flattened out like this. Other parts, not so much. And of course, as you can tell, this is going to take a little bit of time. In survival, and yes, I know it's very loud. But, as you can tell, we're going to have a fair amount of space for our keep. Ignore the stone for right now. Oh, hi, chicken. Thank you for getting in my way, by the way. Come on. This is actually a large, pretty large hill, actually, on top of the hill. You'd almost call this a mountain, really. Now, you don't want your towers to be too big, and you don't want anything else to really be that big either. Okay, castles were not as large as people will try and say. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab that just so that I can have a reference point. But as you can tell, okay. And there we go. So we're finished. So this is about how much space we have for the keep. It may not look like a lot, but there are a lot of things we can do to maximize it. And one of the first things you actually want to do is you almost want to put the Great Hall on this level. And you need to choose a direction where. So there's where the sun is. Because you want something impressive. And I think that the most impressive thing to do would actually be to put the Great Hall here, so it's kind of overlooking this area. So what I'm going to do is kind of and one of the other things I want to do is I want to maximize space as much as possible. So I'm going to put this here. One of the other things you can do is you can actually add a little bit of detail by supporting this. And actually, that's one of the things I really want to do. Okay, get out of here, eggs. And remember, carry it down. Okay. And you can do it like this, and then go to our survival inventory, flip this down, and do this. Now this is something that I kind of like to do. I know it's kind of a standard design that a lot of people will use with the staircases, but it's so pleasing to the eye that you really should be using it. Okay, there we go. And then we're gonna go put this here. And then we're gonna do this. And I'm just doing this to determine where this is going to be. And then we can put like an entrance to the gatehouse, to the keep here, because this entire mount is for the keep. And then here we can actually put this here. Oops, there we go. And that'll show you about how much space we actually have for the Great Hall. Now, if you do want to add a little bit more detail, what you can actually do is get rid of that corner block. And that's actually something I like to do for detail, though it's not perfectly accurate. And now we need a hallway. I know this doesn't sound normal, or like you would normally put this in there, but putting a hallway in can add a lot of important detail, and planning these out often adds detail. So one of the things I'm going to do is the first thing I want to put in is, how wide is this? Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the middle. I just wanted to make sure that I used an odd number because that could be awkward if you don't use odd numbers. So we're going to go in 2, I guess. That would give us a 3. Let's only take it in 1. Let's make it a 5. Yeah, okay. And this is kind of going to be for the entry room to the keep. How far do I want to take this? Because that's 5 by 5. Actually, on second thought, this isn't even going to be the entry. This is going to be the this is going to be where the kitchen is. So we're going to do that, and we're going to put the entry actually right here. Okay, so that's 2, and then we can go here. And I just want to keep this all on the same level. And we're going to go ahead and pop that down. So that's why I'm building this up this high. And then this is going to get 5, so that's 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go here. And I'm going to, once I get the entire, this is going to be laying out the keep. Thank you, chicken. Bye-bye. It's 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then this would carry on 1, 2, 3. However, this is where our hallway is actually going to extend from. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it a choke point. And then we're going to widen it out. And the hallway is kind of going to be an area of defense. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that as an entrance. And one of the other things I'm going to show you is I'm actually going to show you planning out of important features like latrines, which are kind of important, actually. Go away, chicken. Oops, I did not bring this one out far enough. And what we're doing here is we are laying out the hallway, which I'm debating whether or not I want this hallway visible to the outside or not. I think for the first part we're not going to, for the first level, because that could be dangerous. But we keep this 3 wide on this part. And what we're going to do here is raise all the land that's in this area up to the same level as what we have in the keep. And I'm going to detail the bottom part of this in a bit. Now, if you want to make this look like a newer castle, a bit newer, potentially, you can use, say, stone bricks. So you got the mossy stone bricks and all that. And actually what this is going to do is, I'm going to raise this level up a bit more, because you're going to have to walk down into the keep, or not into the keep, into the Great Hall. Oops. Okay, but yeah, you're going to have to walk into the Great Hall, kind of like you're going to have to like walk down into the Great Hall. Which is kind of a cool little thing. I'm debating whether or not I want to put from the Lord's Chamber a way to get into the Great Hall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this all to the same floor level as the Great Hall. But anyway, thank you for watching this first episode of How to Build a Castle. So far, this is what we have for our keep. Okay? Fairly standard shape. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time.